Indonesian is something like out of the box.
Yeah.
So I want to be close to Indonesia. I want to live in Indonesia. That was my dream. I can just work from home, take care of my son. It was complete like lockdown. I couldn't even go out of my house, and I can earn money, and it is very stable, like every month, you know.
Halo teman-teman semuanya, ketemu lagi di YouTube channel Tania Gromenko. Salam kenal, saya Catherine Viria yang akan jadi host di episode spesial kali ini. Karena mungkin teman-teman sudah biasa ya nonton beberapa video di channel ini di mana para alumni SGB VA course bercerita tentang kisah sukses mereka, jalan karir mereka, dan bagaimana tips dan trik mereka untuk membangun karir di dunia remote. Nah, kali ini kita bakalan kedatangan tamu yang sangat amat spesial, yaitu hari ini kita akan ketemu dengan Tania Gromenko, founder dan mentor dari SGB VA Course dan Community, di mana Tania akan bercerita tentang sejarah lahirnya SGB VA Course, visi dan misi kedepannya SGB VA akan dibawa kemana, dan bagaimana sebetulnya SGB VA ini ingin merangkul lebih banyak lagi audiens di Indonesia dan di negara-negara lain di sekitarnya. Nah, karena episode kali ini juga sangat spesial, maka hadiah buat teman-teman juga bakalan eksklusif banget, yaitu teman-teman yang beruntung akan mendapatkan kesempatan untuk melakukan one-on-one online consultation langsung bersama Tania Gromenko. Keren banget ya? Caranya gampang banget, teman-teman tinggal tonton video ini dari awal sampai akhir, lalu tulis insight yang teman-teman pelajari dari video ini, lalu tag Tania Gromenko dan SGB VA di Instagram Stories teman-teman. Nah, setelah 7 hari dari penayangan video ini, kita akan memilih teman-teman yang beruntung yang bisa mendapatkan hadiah eksklusif ini dan akan diumumkan di Instagram Story Tania Gromenko dan SGBVA. Jadi, pastikan teman-teman tonton video ini dari awal sampai akhir, tulis insight yang teman-teman dapatkan dan post di Instagram kalian masing-masing, tag Tania Gromenko dan SGBVA, dan jangan lupa klik like, subscribe, dan share video ini untuk teman-teman kalian yang membutuhkan juga. Oke, jadi tanpa berlama-lama lagi, yuk kita langsung ngobrol sama Tania Gromenko. Hai Tania, how are you?
Hi Catherine, hi. Hello semuanya, I'm good.
Welcome to your own YouTube channel.
Thank you.
Okay, Tania, do you know that right now in your community there's already 65,000 remote work learners?
Wow,
And
yeah.
there is more than 9,000 alumni already in the SGBVA course. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's just beyond my imagination.
You didn't imagine that it will go like this before?
I mean, maybe not that fast. I didn't really have any expectations, to be honest. But yeah, I'm very honored and very excited about the growth.
We are so happy to have you come up with this idea in the first place. And before we start talking about all of the things important about SGBVA, can you introduce yourself to those people who are coming here for the first time?
Okay, sure.
So obviously you're not from here, right?
Yes. So basically, hello semuanya, and nama saya Tania Gromenko, and saya berasal dari Rusia. So originally I'm from Russia, and I was born and grew up in Russia in a small town in Russia. Let me know in the comments if you guys have been in Russia before. So I'm actually from a small family. I'm a single child, and my mom raised me as a single mom as well. So and I was lucky that my mom always supported me all of my ideas, all of my crazy things that I wanted to try. And I was always like a very stubborn child, I would say. I always kind of like knew what I want as a child, but I didn't really like to study much until I was 16. Okay. And I actually was participating in a scholarship to go and study in the US. So this scholarship was supposed to completely cover all the costs. And as a high school student, I could actually stay in the US for 1 year.
Wow,
and
that's really
I
nice.
really wanted to work for it so hard. I started to study English by myself, like reading the books. And then I passed until the final round. And then there was like an interview with the selection committee. And I was really looking forward to my acceptance into this program, but unfortunately I failed. So I failed, and then it was so shocking for me because I really already kind of believed that I will win it. I passed like until the last step. But then because it didn't go through, so I decided that I need to find another opportunity. So I actually enrolled myself in like a volunteering program in Europe. So I went to France and Switzerland by myself. I was at that time like 16, turning 17.
Okay.
And then thankfully my mom also supported me. And I think this was a really life-changing moment for me, because I actually went overseas, like to Europe by myself. I met people, teenagers who were like me. And I just realized that the world is such a big, the world is so big, and there are so many exciting people, exciting things and places to visit. And I realized that I really want to go out of my small town, go away to some other, big city with a great community, maybe also live overseas. And I think that this trip really changed my life and made me believe that actually learning can pave a way to anywhere, even if our background is not really let's say my family didn't have enough funds to pay for my studies in the university. So I had really this goal that I need to have a scholarship, enter a good university, and then I wanted to live overseas. And that's when I came back, I started to study very hard, and then I passed the exams very well, and I got into the university in Moscow. And and it was completely covered. So I got a scholarship. And then, so when I turned 18, I moved to Moscow. And then in my university, they were studying a lot of languages. So in the university, they were the students were studying, the university was studying 54 languages from all over the world.
And you can pick the language that you want to learn?
Actually, the problem for me, for people is that if you don't pay for your studies yourself, if the government is paying for you, then you cannot choose the language. So, and I remember on the first day of the uni, they told me, Tanya, you will study Indonesian. And I'm like, I was so shocked. I was like, where is Indonesia? I've heard about Bali before.
Of course.
Because it's kind of like booming in Russia at that time. But I had no idea about Indonesia. But I was really excited. And there were only 6 students from the whole batch who were picked to choose to study Bahasa Indonesia. And I remember that I was one of the happiest, because I was like, wow, I will study something that's really unique and exotic. Because, like French, Spanish, it's like very mainstream for us. But Indonesian is something like out of the box. So I was really happy. And then that's how basically my journey started. And that's how I, learned about Indonesia.
Okay. So I actually, fun fact, I saw a video on YouTube where you are playing a gamelan, but it's not like the Javanese gamelan, but it's a Balinese gamelan. Is that part of that program?
So actually, when I was on my 3rd year in the university, I got a scholarship from the Kementerian Luar Negeri, Indonesia. So from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And then I was chosen as one of the 90 people from all over the world to study Indonesian culture. So it was my first time when I went to Indonesia. It was 2014. And and then we, all these people, 90 people came to Jakarta. And later we were actually split into small groups, and each group was to go to different parts of Indonesia. And I was I think lucky one, because I got into Bali group. So and then we flew to Bali, and then I spent almost 4 months in Bali, studying the culture. Gamelan and also tari Bali. So I was also dancing.
I saw also that dancing video. It's really, really nice.
And then we went to Yogyakarta to perform in the university there. And I think it's also one of the turning point in my life, because that's when I also realized how friendly Indonesian people are. I really got to know the culture, not just studying it from the books, but actually seeing the reality,
and not just a holiday, because sometimes you go go to Indonesia for 1 or 2 weeks, so you don't really learn the people. You don't
Exactly.
really learn their
So I
culture.
was really like really talking to a lot of people, met a lot of friends, and I stay in touch with them until now. And yeah, I just felt like, okay, this is really something that the culture that really is close to my heart. So I want to live in this country.
Oh, nice.
So when I came back to Russia, I actually told myself that, okay, I want to actually work in Indonesia after I finish my university. So I really tried my best to secure the internship in Indonesia. So when I finished my studies in Moscow, I actually went to Jakarta and I was an intern in Net TV.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So it was like almost 10 years ago?
Yes, 2015. Yeah,
All right.
almost 10 years ago. And yeah, I was staying in Kuningan, in Kos-Kosan. And then I was assistant reporter. So every morning I went all over the place to interview people, to cover different things happening in the city. So it was a great experience as well.
So it's like a moment then you realize that you want to stay in Indonesia?
Yeah,
Like
so I want to be close to Indonesia. I want to live in Indonesia. That was my dream. I never really saw myself living in Russia. So I always wanted to live overseas. And thankfully, yes, my family, even though I'm only child, my mom and my family always supported me, especially my mom. She was like, okay, I believe you can like just choose whatever is close to you. So, and then I was about to get married and I told my husband that I really want to live in Indonesia. But because he's from IT background, he said like, okay, Singapore is giving more opportunities for jobs in terms of this. So how about we stay in Singapore?
Which is pretty close.
Which is close,
to Indonesia,
very close. So we can go there all the time. I'm like, okay, deal.
I think it's a good
compromise. Yeah,
it's a
it's
good
close
compromise.
enough.
It's
Yeah,
close enough.
So that's how my journey in Singapore started, and we moved to Singapore in 2016.
Okay. So you quit from the Net TV job, right?
Yes, it was just only 3 months internship. Yeah.
Oh, it was an internship.
Yes, and then I had to go back to Russia just to sort things out there, and because I was getting married, so I had to prepare everything, all the documents before I move. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you start with the virtual assistant industry? So it was like 9 years ago, right?
Yes.
8 to 9 years ago, because I think I haven't heard of virtual assistant before. Like I didn't know about it 9 years ago. So you were sort of like early in the game, right?
Yes.
How did it come for you to notice this opportunity, and like how did you turn that opportunity into a course?
Okay, so actually when I came to Singapore in 2016, I got some projects, like some small projects, but at that time I already knew that I want to start something on my own. So actually my uncle was always like inspiring me, because he is an entrepreneur, but he's a completely different industry. So he was always like, Tanya, what do you lose? You can just start to work for yourself. And then in 2018, I started my first business. So it's called Singapore Guidebook. It's still running until now. So you guys can check us on at Singapore Guidebook. So basically I started it as actually publication, like a print publication, print magazine, and also as a platform about Singapore in Bahasa Indonesia. Because in Singapore there are a lot of Indonesian students, right? And I am passionate about Indonesia. So I was writing the posts, writing the overview of different Singapore food and places. And I think it was really amazing. But of course, in terms of my business was not really profitable. It was really a lot of struggle. So through this journey, I have learned a lot on the business as well. And I actually, in 2019, I was having a meeting with a potential client for Singapore Guidebook who wanted to advertise on our Instagram. And he was managing director of the hotel.
All right.
And I was meeting him and I was just sharing to him that, your Instagram maybe can be improved, because I'm always passionate about social media. I don't have special like diplomas or degrees on social media, but I always like to scroll Instagram. So I was sharing like basic things with him. Like, for example, you need to respond to people. Your Instagram is not updated enough. Like last time you posted was like a few months ago. So I was like sharing basic things, but he was really understanding, and he said, I really agree with you, but I do not unfortunately have the budget to hire a full-time staff. And just out of my head, I just told him, how about I do this for you?
Okay, so this is how it's all started.
And to me, I didn't know about virtual assistants at that time. Nothing like that. So, and he said immediately, yes, let's do it. So this is how I actually got my first client. It was end of 2019. And initially, my job was to create and prepare the content for 3 Instagram posts per week and 3 Facebook posts per week.
All right. So you find your niche and services just like that.
Yeah, because that's what he needed. And that's what I also enjoyed. So, and that's basically how it started. He was happy with my services, and he gave me his second hotel because he was managing 2.
Okay.
And I worked with him for, I think, over 1 year.
All right.
And then, but I was still, my primary focus was still Singapore guidebook business at that time. And then COVID hit. And then also in 2020, I gave birth to my son. So, and during COVID, there were no Indonesian tourists, definitely. I didn't have any contracts for my business. So it was really low point for me. But I realized for myself that, actually I can work remotely and just continue doing this. And I had this opportunity. There was for the aesthetic clinic to manage their social media. So I just took this opportunity, and then this doctor was really happy with my work. So she referred to me 2 more clients, the a traditional Chinese medicine doctor and the dental clinic.
Okay, so now you have 5.
I think it was 4. 2 hotels. Yes, it was around 4 clients, maybe 5 brands. And then the aesthetic doctor also gave me her skincare brand to manage.
Okay.
And then I also found an eye clinic. So at some point I was handling a lot already. And at that time, I was mostly focusing on being a virtual assistant, assisting businesses with social media. I was also doing some event business as well in my Singapore guidebook, but it was very, very slow. And I just realized that my income was even higher than before COVID,
Okay, while everyone is losing their jobs and having much lower income, you see this as an opportunity to gain even more.
Exactly. Yes.
So it's not only you that can do it. Then if you can, then anyone also can do it, right?
Exactly. So I was like, okay, I can just work from home, take care of my son. It was complete lockdown. I couldn't even go out of my house, and I can earn money, and it is very stable, every month, while my previous businesses, it was always fluctuating. I could not really understand what will happen the next month, So I was really happy, but I didn't have the idea to start the course just yet. So actually it was until I went to Russia for a few months, and then at some point I was just reading an article about virtual assistants and how popular they are right now, and how popular it is to work remotely, and that a lot of entrepreneurs are engaging virtual assistants. And then it kind of everything hit together in my head. It was like, okay, I have a lot of business experience. I know how to promote myself. I know how to reach out to clients, find clients, find the service. And I have been a virtual assistant assisting entrepreneurs. And so basically I can teach people about this. So you have the experience, and then you have the skill, and then you feel like you want to just share it to more people. Yes,
right? So
I always
actually
in my during my life, I always wanted to motivate people and inspire people.
Okay.
And even if you look at my old social media content, I always tried to motivate, but I didn't know what exactly can I teach at that time, because I didn't have that experience. And as I got more experience in business as an assistant, then came together.
Wow, interesting. It's a long journey, but at the end, I think every downside, everything that we think was bad happening to you, actually it leads you to the right spot. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think every challenge is actually the opportunity.
Yes,
it's it depends on the way you look at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even if you failed, I remember the story at the beginning, you said you failed to get the scholarship to the US. Actually, I think it was at the end it was a big opportunity to get everything else.
Yes,
instead.
exactly. Yeah.
So how did you come up with the name SGBVA? And like, can you tell us how the first batch started? Because right now it's been 18 batch in less than 3 years, right? So how did it started? Like, how did you begin the first batch?
Yeah, so it's very interesting because I decided for myself that I only wanted to have a 15 people batch. So only to accept 15 people because I wanted to test first and to see what kind of feedback will people have. So I actually posted on Singapore Guidebook Instagram and I said that, guys, I'm opening an online course about remote work. So if you want to join, you can just, fill in the Google form and I will call you on Zoom and explain. And I remember that there were like more than 100 people who were interested.
Oh,
yes.
Because they are followers of Singapore.
Yeah,
Guidebook account,
maybe
right?
because they already kind of know me from my first business. So they actually after that I actually scheduled a Zoom call with them. I created like a simple presentation about what will be in the course, what I will teach. I made an offer to buy the course, and I was so surprised that almost every person who I had a call with immediately paid for the course. I'm like, wow, that's really showing the interest.
Yeah, the demand is high.
Yeah, and then I couldn't even call everyone. My 15 slots were already booked, so I actually had to ask some people to be on the wait list if I open the second batch. Yeah. Right. And then I was doing this first batch, and I was doing everything myself, the slides. So I didn't have any team. Yeah. And then
it's a one-man show.
One-man show, completely, yes. And then I got all positive feedbacks at that time. So I was like, okay, then I need to continue this. So I opened the second batch, and the second batch, I got already people who waitlisted from the first batch, and then some new ones. So I got around 50 people.
Okay.
And then at that time, my students already told me, Tanya, I think we think you need to hire a team because it's already too much. You miss some questions on our live sessions. So I was like, okay, it's time for me to actually hire. And then that's where I hired my first team member. Yeah.
Right, okay.
And yes, and for the SGBVA name, so actually, SGB stands for Singapore Guidebook, and this is my first business. And to be honest, there is I just wanted to continue the SGB brand name, but I just put VA behind, so it's like SGB VA.
All right, okay.
But it's not Singapore Guidebook VA. It's just SGB VA because Singapore Guidebook is still another brand. Yeah.
Okay. So is that why the audience, like the students up until now, are mostly Indonesian? Is it because you first promoted through Singapore Guidebook, or do you have any plan? Like, do you? I mean, I know you love Indonesia.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to know, like, is there any particular reason why Indonesia is your target audience?
I think it is partly connected to the fact that I always kind of worked with Indonesia, and yes, Singapore Guidebook was targeting Indonesian market. So I first tested this idea on Singapore Guidebook, and it was a great response. So, and I think that it kind of just continued like this because being a virtual assistant for Indonesians is really a great opportunity, right? Because the incomes that they can get working remotely in Indonesia as a VA is very much comparable or higher than they can get working an office job.
Yeah, especially if the clients are from international. Right?
Yes, exactly. And that's why I think this idea has developed so much, especially in Indonesia. But we also have students from Malaysia. We also have students from Singapore. And we definitely plan to grow to other countries. But I'm very grateful that I get to work so closely with Indonesia because it was always my dream. Yeah.
So actually, like even if it's like a different way, you still manage to get your dream. To be working near Indonesia with a lot of Indonesian people as well. All right, amazing. And so now you have already like more than 9,000 alumni. And then I know that there's a community group like of remote workers that are more than 65,000 followers. So how is like becoming a mentor right now to all of these people? What is your biggest challenge for now? Is it like unexpected for you?
Actually, I am, to be honest, I cannot think of a very huge challenge for me because actually I get so much energy from this.
Okay.
Actually, it's surprising to me because I am an introvert and I usually don't speak in public. But somehow also why I love the audience, the Indonesian audience, is because when I speak to them, even it's online, I get the feeling that like they are present, like I can feel them because they are so active
So
in the
warm,
chat.
yeah.
They are so warm. They are like very supportive, and I feel like whenever I meet them online, I feel like it's just giving me energy, even though I am an introvert, you know? Yeah. So I feel that being a mentor is really my calling. And it's really something that is giving so much meaning to my life. Yeah. So I really enjoy the journey, I would say.
Is there like a very special story or like, is there like an experience like as a mentor that you want to share?
Recently, I have spoken to one of my students, and she is basically a VA. She has been on our course, and currently she's handling 15 clients. Can you imagine?
15?
Yes.
Where did she find the time?
I also
do
asked
everything.
her, but she said, I'm not doing it alone. She actually engaged her 2 sons.
Oh, really?
To do it with her. So actually, and this is her goal, to actually engage her family, to work with her. So now she's working remote. She's handling these 15 clients and together with her sons. So, and
that's so nice.
yeah, and she's really amazing. And another story is from one of my teammates, Lina. So I want to share Lina's story that I think it is very inspiring. Actually, I wanted to also invite her to our YouTube podcast, but she always refuses because she's shy. So
Lina, you're next.
Yes. So actually, Lina started to study on the SGB VA course on batch 2, I think.
Early batch.
Yeah, and she had like 10 years work gap, and she didn't even know like how to use Excel, Google Docs and all this stuff. And now she is actually from starting as a virtual assistant and starting from being a student advisor. I think now she grew all the way to becoming the operations director of the whole company.
Amazing.
And she is also working remote. And it's been really amazing career journey. And I think that it really proves, and actually the experience of so many of my students and team, it proves that you can actually do this from zero. And it also, I feel it proves my value as a person that right now you can achieve anything if you can learn, if you are actually able to be consistent and learn something, you know.
So it's the willingness to learn that matters the
and
most.
I believe that we are so lucky to live in this world where actually there are no boundaries and you can become anyone and anything that you want, even if your background is not much financial power or something like that, not much education. It doesn't matter so much anymore. And we are so lucky to live in this era.
Wow, very inspiring.
Yeah, so with my course, I actually want to prove this as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, such an inspiring story, Tanya. So, guys, once again, kita switch bahasa Indonesia ya kalau misalnya ngobrol sama teman-teman. Jadi, tadi Tanya udah cerita sedikit ya gimana beliau sebagai mentor dan bagaimana menjadi mentor itu adalah sebuah panggilan buat dia. Jadi, aku mau ngingetin lagi buat teman-teman bahwa di episode kali ini bakalan ada hadiah spesial, yaitu one-on-one mentorship ya selama 30 menit sama Tania Gromenko secara langsung. Caranya gampang teman-teman, tonton video ini sampai akhir, lalu teman-teman tulis insight apa yang teman-teman pelajari dari video ini, lalu post di Instagram story teman-teman dan tag Tania Gromenko dan SGB VA. Ya, nanti 7 hari setelah video ini pertama tayang, kita akan pilih satu orang yang beruntung untuk bisa one-on-one selama 30 menit bersama Tania Gromenko. Oke? Jadi stay tune, nonton sampai akhir dan jangan lupa post insight kalian di story kalian masing-masing. Oke, kita lanjut ya Tania. How do you continuously improve the quality of SGB VA course? Because I am one of your students, so I joined the 3rd batch. So it was like an early batch, and up until now when I saw the current curriculum, I saw that it was so much different. Like you guys, if you are joining the SGBVA course, like in this period, you are so lucky. Like I didn't get as much as when I took the course before. Like how do you keep improving this quality?
Yeah, so I think that customer satisfaction is always like number one priority for us.
Sure.
And that's why we always focus on, asking feedbacks from our students. And every single batch, so we have like a special team who is focusing on improving the quality of the course every time.
So you have like a specific team.
Yeah, they are working full time as VAs as well, like remotely, but they are focusing on improving the course, and we constantly brainstorm with them how to improve the course. Also, because we take the feedbacks from every student that we have, that's the like usual process. We always send the feedback forms after every week of the course, and also after every batch. So after the end of the course, then we read all these feedbacks, like all the suggestions for improvements. And then we also regularly arrange the calls with our alumni and students. And we ask them what else can we improve? And sometimes they give us amazing ideas. So we always shortlist the best ideas after each batch, and then we implement them. Yeah.
Wow. But I'm sure like even with all of this improvement, all of this effort that you put with the team, there must be like people who are still not satisfied, right? How do you like overcome, or like how do you face these challenges?
With this kind of trainings that we have, it's always equal responsibility, So I put everything that I know, all my knowledge, all my skills into this, and I always guide step by step. But their responsibility is actually take this knowledge and implement, right? So as long as they follow my course, my guidance needs their consistency and effort, and then the results will come, And sometimes people are struggling with consistency, But the things that I offer to them, if they face any challenge, is that I always say, even after the course ends, you are never left alone. You can just DM me. You can just ask me for more guidance. I can review your portfolio. I can review how do you reach out to clients, how do you apply to jobs, and I will try my best to give you more personalized, guidance and advice. Yeah. So I believe I always positively accept these students and feedbacks, and I'm always open to discuss more with them on what else can I give to them so that their journey becomes smoother. But I always emphasize to them that there must be consistency, So this is in this area and in every area in life, consistency is the key,
Yeah, and also I remember in one of your classes, you said that becoming a virtual assistant you are not an employee. You are an entrepreneur because you manage your own time. You choose the people who you want to work with. You choose the tasks. So I think it's about like being an entrepreneur, right? And becoming an entrepreneur means you don't just like sit and listen to what you are being told to, but you also have to improve. You have to always like be consistent. And like, I think there are certain mindset and like work ethic that you have to have in order to become an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And that's why I always also really focus on mindset, because mindset is really, really so important. And yes, the implementation of the knowledge is also really, really important. So I always say to students, there is no task in the course that you just can skip, like every task, every homework is important. So don't think that, okay, this homework is actually not important, so I will just skip. You need to do this task. And my students who I ask, okay, you are successful right now, can you tell me what's the secret? And then all the students, they say consistency and just following step by step, you don't miss the parts.
Because all of the tasks that you created were designed for the students to kickstart their remote career.
Yes. And through this so many batches, right, we already kind of like adjusted the curriculum so much in a way that every single task is at this very at the best place where it needs to be,
I can confirm that.
Yeah, thank you. So just need to follow. Yeah.
All right. But in any case, you cannot please everybody, right? At the end of the day, it's a training, it's a course, it's a service that you are giving. So at the end it's a two-way thing. Like you give your best, and then the participant has to also give their best as well.
Yes, exactly. It should be two-way. But for me, I always try to say everything positively and say to them that, guys, if there is something that I can help you, you can always DM me anytime. If there is anything that you are struggling with, or maybe you need guidance, and that's also one of the beauties of this course, is that even after the course ends, you still can DM me personally,
Yeah, and
so
also
please
we
take
have the
advantage of
hub,
this.
We have the community that are very
alumni
supportive.
community. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. But like after all of this time, is there any like vision or like dreams that you still have for SGBVA? Like what do you imagine this could go?
Okay, great question. I think that my dream is to really continue building the ecosystem where we actually can, empower entrepreneurs to hire VAs from our community. And we are having this right now, but we want to scale it bigger. And probably we want to create like a virtual assistant agency or something like that. So we can really have a strong part in our business to also employ the virtual assistants who, for example, want to work under our VA agency, for example. So this is something that I'm considering right now. And we have a special team of virtual assistants in our company who are also working constantly in this direction. So this is in my big vision for SGBVA.
Okay, how long do you think we can reach to that point? Because everything is moving so fast, right?
Yes, I think in the next few months we will see like significant progress on this, and hopefully in 1 year it will be already like at some good level.
Wow, amazing. So guys, if you are thinking about like joining the SGBVA community, this is the right moment, right? Before you implement everything like the agency and all of your plan.
Yes.
Okay, Tanya. So now I'm going to read a couple of success stories from your students and alumni, and let's see how you feel about it. Okay? Okay, so the first one is Mira Herawati, who is a customer care and content writer. So she said that she gained a great mindset to be a higher paid VA with her US and Australian client. She said SGBVA taught me the right mindset that all professional VA should have. It consciously led me to a bargaining position with the client that equally valued each other. The more confident you are, the higher paid you will be. How do you feel about her story?
That's great. And I think that it really also emphasized my focus. So on the course, I focus not only teaching hard skills and soft skills, but also the mindset, because you can know how to do tasks for clients, but if your mindset is not the right mindset, you cannot be really successful, because mindset is really the foundation for the success. So with the right mindset, I think all doors are open for you. That's why I concentrate so much on the mindset.
To give value first, right? Instead of like looking for the big income.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of it, but definitely there are more things. But this is for example, this one. Yeah, it's really, really important.
Okay, so it means that Mira really got the idea, the essence of your course.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. The second one is Alvano Hermawan. He is a social media management, branding strategy, digital marketing, and administration support. So he is currently working with 7 clients from Indonesia, and he finally have the flexibility to work remotely. He works from home and can travel whenever he wants with his wife. Thank you, Tanya, and the SGBVA team.
Amazing, Alfano. So proud of you. And this also shows that even males can be VAs. I mean, it is not gender related. It is not age related. It is just people ask me, Tanya, what kind of skill do I need to have to be a VA? I say it's just one skill, the ability to learn. You know, it's not about your gender. It's not about your diplomas, degrees, or age.
And then this really like enables people to travel, enables people to do whatever they want with their time instead of like being bound to like office work.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, the next one is also a male VA, Irvan. Irvan is a full stack digital marketer. So he is now handling end-to-end business for 3 clients from Indonesia, and also grow the digital marketing team to support his projects. And it all started from an insight I got at SGBVA.
Wow, amazing. And you can see that Irfan is having a team. So this is actually one of the ways how you can grow your VA business. If you are already handling too many clients, you are already overbooked, you actually can hire virtual assistants for you to help you manage more clients. And
At the end, it's an entrepreneurship, right?
yeah, exactly. So happy for you, Irfan.
Amazing. Okay, the next one is Brenda Olivia. She does admin tasks, content creation, social media management, and one-on-one online coaching. Okay, so after the course, she worked with 7 clients from all over the world, including Indonesia, the USA, Australia, Dubai, and Thailand. And this course has helped her to become financially independent and found her passion, which is social media industry. And now she's even able to hire an assistant for herself to help her out for some client work. And I know that Brenda is very young. I think she is still in college or...
Wow.
Yeah. How do you feel about like being a mentor to such a young person, and she can right now like financially independent?
Wow, that's amazing. This makes me really proud, of her. And I'm honored to be able to also influence even younger generation, And I'm happy that she's working with international clients. As I always say, guys, that even if you speak basic English, you already actually can work with international clients from all over the world. Yeah.
Fantastic. And last one, this is Yvonne Jatmiko. She does social media management and content creation. She secured her first client during the second week of the course. Wow. And now she's working with 5 clients from all over the world and have been able to grow a team as a VA or video editor. It's fun to work in the creative industry with people from cities I've never heard of. It's like having a virtual travel experience. Thank you, SGB VA, for making all of this possible.
Wow, amazing. That's great, Yvonne. I'm so happy for you and even building the team.
Right.
Amazing story.
Okay, wow, Tanya, it's been a great conversation. Thank you so much for
Catherine.
being here. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey to be here. And do you have any last sentence that you want to say to our audience for this episode, this special episode, so that they can be more motivated and they can like step out of their comfort zone?
My last sentence is that you can do anything. You can. And the rest, the main thing for success is just starting. So start right now.
Right. Yeah. Actually, that is like, I think like the heaviest step is the first step.
Exactly,
right?
for
and then
sure.
After that, you can just run.
Yes. This is the hardest step.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Tanya.
Thank you, Catherine, for great questions.
Nah, teman-teman semuanya udah belajar banyak banget pasti ya dari sharing cerita, perjalanan, dan semua tips and trick dari Tania Gromenko sendiri. Kalau teman-teman merasa terinspirasi dan kepengen jadi bagian dari SGB VA Community, caranya gampang banget. Teman-teman tinggal klik link yang ada di description dari video di bawah ini. Dan teman-teman bisa join free webinar yang akan dibawakan oleh Tania Gromenko juga, yang teman-teman bisa pelajari dan tahu lebih banyak tentang apa aja sih sebetulnya yang ada di dalam SGB VA Community. Thank you so much, Tanya, for today. One more time, we have learned so much from you, and I'm sure the audience are really looking forward to learn more from you.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Thank you. Terima kasih semuanya.
I hope we will have a chance to see each other again and learn together again. Thank you so much.
Hopefully.
See you guys.
See you. Bye everyone.